Hello and welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. I'm your host, BUB'S Comics, BUB'S. I'm Bub, your host of BUB'S Comics, and also this chat. But with me, as always, my two favorite compatriots. I've got Roger, aka Metarog, and DS, aka DS Comic.
What's up, Bob? Hey, Roger.
Hey, DS Bub. Happy New Year and holidays to you all and all in the chat.
Yes, happy holidays
To
all of you. We got that old comic Smells been tailgating already. Boy, that was nice of him. Area 51, Mike's in the house saying Happy New Year's. Mr. Gretzky 9966 Hut is here as well. DS Comics is here. We can't get rid of that guy or this guy. Metarog like a bad fungus. Really? Are there good fungus? I don't know. We got Hidden Gems Comics is here as well. And Las Cruces. Hello from New Mexico. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All of you who are current Cover Slinger champions, raise your hands now. Put your hand down, Roger.
Well, I'm a past Cover Slinger champion. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts for the next question. Anyone else who is a past Cover Slinger champion, raise your hand now. There he is. Well, now here's the question. Were you the champion when you left, when the last time you were on? Did you win?
No.
So there you go. All right. That settles that up. Cowabunga fam we have here, of course, Heroes to Icons. Brett Bottomley's in the house as well. I think he was one of the ones that actually watched my Power Records video, my much maligned, hardly viewed video on Power Records. Comic Mag Musings in the house. Hello, Bill, and I'm sorry for your loss. The whole community is in mourning for Bill's Cover Slinger Championship, which he lost to me. Actually, he lost a couple of weeks before me, but still it counts, I feel. He had a hand chance to get it back. Hey, handsome fellow. See what he did there? See what he did there? Hello, all these handsome fellas. Yeah, that's what he's. There it is. Thanks.
Hello, fellas.
Roger's sitting on his. What else? Yeah, Brett Bottomley watched. I think he was one of the ones that watched and commented on that Power Records video. What I like about doing those kinds of videos is that you get people to. There are people that I don't know. You have a certain number of subscribers, right? It doesn't matter who you are. You know, you got a certain number of subscribers, and you have some people who pretty much watch everything you put up, right? And comments, because you don't really know who's watching. You get hundreds of watches and you don't know who, you get like 10 comments, right?
Yep.
So, or at least I do. So then I'm like, well, who's watching, who's not watching? And then you put out a video like that and you see people that you haven't got a comment from in like 2 years. So I guess they stayed subscribed. And then I kind of feel bad. It was me, Brett says. Nice. Then you kind of feel bad because you're like, well, now all these people have been hanging out just waiting to see a video they liked. Like, my poor son's been hanging out there for 2 years, waiting for quality content. It makes me feel bad, but But anyway, good to see people hop in and comment on videos that they don't normally comment on or whatever, and to see different videos coming across the channel is always nice. Mike liked it. Bill liked it, so it was fun. It was fun. It got more views than like a Tetris video, So that's nice. That's always nice. DS didn't like the Tetris videos. He didn't find them challenging enough to watch. Is that right?
I watched one and parts of another, and those are some of the most recent videos of yours I actually watched. So it drew my attention in. I know it looked like it didn't get a lot of views or comments or anything, but yeah, it was interesting. I like to see when people throw out different stuff on their channel besides comics. It's interesting. I always usually try to check that new stuff out. I like when people do that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know. I lost DS years ago.
Hey, I still watch videos of everyone. I just don't watch as many, and I usually don't comment because there's so much content. I just play stuff, and while I'm doing other stuff and sort of soak it in, it's sort of like TV for me in the background. So I watch a lot of videos. I comment on probably only 5% of the videos I watch, which I know that makes me a piece of crap, but that's just
I
how
don't think so.
you know what I mean? I don't comment on everything. But I try to, some of these people I watch videos a lot, and eventually I'm like, let me comment so they know I'm still out here, and I'll do that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I watch a lot of videos. I just don't comment on all of them, and sometimes I just click play all on my sub list. And I just runs through whatever's most.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I got to figure that out because
I've
been trying to do that.
Click play, and when the video ends, it just plays another one. I don't know if it's really in order, but it's just playing video after video after video. And sometimes it goes quick because there's only maybe a string of like 5-minute videos, and then I'll hit that Comics with Bueller, hour and a half extravaganza, and I can't make it through that.
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean, and I know you're saying you only comment on maybe 5% of the videos that you watch, but there's lots of people who comment on 100% of the videos they don't watch.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it when I upload like an hour-long video, and then 2 minutes after the upload, I get a comment like, "Watch the whole thing, loved it. It was great. Put up another one next week."
Yeah. Also,
the first book I showed is the one they comment on. Which, hey, I'm thankful for the view and for people even caring enough to watch it, and for the encouragement. But there's no way you watch that, even on double speed.
Yeah, I feel self-conscious when I comment on the first or second book that somebody's showing. I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't comment on this book because they're going to think I didn't watch any further. So I'll purposely comment on one of the later books so they know I stuck through it, even though I did anyway. But I try to be in a lot of live chats and participate. I catch a lot of live chats, and I try to participate with channels on their live chats. Those are not more exciting, but sort of more connected to the community when it's live.
Oh, yeah, they're interactive.
Try to do that.
That's always a lot of fun too.
I can go to your live shows, Rogers, with Graders Notes and Bub. I join you on a couple of yours, trying to help you cut the collection down, and some other. I caught one the other night. I caught one you were on, and I jumped on to support you guys. So I try to do the live shows.
I appreciate that. It is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch other people kind of having a good time too, especially when I'm doing something else. Like I'll kind of put live shows on low volume while I'm like watching something else or interacting in some other way, and just have it on the low,
Yeah.
Look, he watched videos 2XP's wish you do that live shows. I tell you, I do every now and then. I'll click the 2x speed on an auction. Yeah. And that cuts down on my lag. So like if I'm lagging and I'm seeing that people are putting up bids before they even say the opening bid price, then I'll hurry up and click, double speed, and it'll catch me up. And it'll actually run at double speed until you get all the way caught up, run through the buffer, and then you're back to live. So that's a little way to get ahead on some of those auctions. For all those of you who participates in those.
Oh, there's tons of auctions. I try to, almost every night I put an auction on at some point. But those I feel like they're really not as – I mean, they're cool hangouts and stuff too. But I usually – in those I just strictly lurk usually. I'll randomly throw out a little piece of knowledge if somebody's talking about a book and they're like, what's that? And I know it. I'll throw a comment in there. But I usually lurk in auctions because for me, that's just sales. It's not like – you know what I mean? It's not like a hangout sort of thing.
Yeah. Look, Bad Dad's in the house. Jackson Roy Kirk, TK's Back Cave. You guys honor us with your presence. Comic Probe. Hey, what's going on, Dan? I haven't seen you in forever. He's got them there baby, doesn't he, Roger?
You got a baby. That means
less
sleep and less money. That's what
I think I kind of remember in one of his last videos him saying that his wife told him he couldn't buy any more comics, just diapers. And his kid's not even in diapers anymore. So, I mean, that's pretty rough. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Good to have you. Glad you could make it. Yeah, it is difficult to watch a comment sometimes.
Yeah,
going live. Yeah, that's part of it. All right, guys. Slim's in the house as well. Thank you guys for joining us. All right, we have a great show that I just thought of 32 minutes before we went live. Well, I kind of got thrown for a loop. So All right, let's do this so no one thinks that Roger and DS are talking crazy. So, what do you think of the new camera angle, guys? You like that? A little bit of askew, as they say?
Yeah. Like
it
that.
unfortunately cuts out on the glare, which is kind of my trademark, so I have to work on that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm only here to kick Comic Mag Musings out. Does Jackson Roy Kirk have a wrench? I can't see it in the stream.
Yeah, he does.
Yep, he does. Yep.
Well, put that sucker in timeout. Ben Compton's here.
Yeah, but Comic Mag Musings has a wrench too, so that's like, Thor.
There may be a battle royale on the chat.
Can they have a wrench fight? That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like a Thor versus Hulk or Flash Superman race.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that. So anyway, I had this all set up, and I was thinking this morning, I had got this news when I first got into work. I read that Tanya Roberts had passed away, and she was the one that played Sheena, and she was on that '70s show, and she's on a few other things. So I was thinking about having Jambo, huh?
She was a Bond girl too.
She was a Bond girl, yep. In View to a Kill, I think.
I think so, yep.
Yep. Very good. Just fantastic. And I remember, of course, Sheena from when I was a kid, and left a lasting impression. Good stuff. And so then I thought, well, I should try and have something jungle related, but I know Roger has a very low tolerance for bikinis. I was like, well, what can I do? I mean, I don't think he's anti-bikini. You're not anti-bikini, are you?
No.
Are you pro bikini?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it is what it is, right?
I think me and Roger probably agree on bikinis. I'm neutral on them. Like, they don't do anything for me. I'm not.
Yeah, they're okay. Whatever.
Well, I can honestly say that if I just see one sitting on a rack, it doesn't do anything for me either. But if it's just sitting there at a store, it does nothing, Yeah. But yes, appears she has not passed, is what Mike said. So this morning I was thinking I need to get Jambo on. Maybe we'll do a little jungle special or a Sheena specific special, and maybe try and get oh shucks, who's JD? JD's got a big Sheena collection, and I thought maybe get him on here. But then it turned out she did not pass away. So then we were stuck scrambling. I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. She is very sick, but still hanging in there.
Yeah, her passing was greatly. I remember that. What's that from? Oh man, that's hilarious. I remember that line. That's a movie line. Yes, Area 51 prefers them off. I don't blame you. They ride up, don't they? Area. They ride. Mike likes to take them off. They ride up on them. Comic Mag Musings with respect to the Cover Slingers champion, and even though Roger's pretty sure it's him, we know. Look, I'm going to get in trouble for leaving the comment up. All right, I got to take the comment down. You should see the private messages I get about this, saying that the message blocks it. It's ridiculous. I can't believe people are that particular.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Linda Carter. And I'll say this. Earlier, I was reading something. People were complaining about Gal Gadot again because she's had a new movie out and hashtag not my Wonder Woman kind of stuff, which she says to that. And I think that the issue there for me, and it's just me talking, right? Just my preference. Of course, I grew up with Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, so that's my Wonder Woman. But honestly, Linda Carter had a certain appeal to her. And yes, it may have been certain assets that she had that really cemented that. But I don't think it's fair to hold Gal Gadot to that same, like she has to have those exact same qualities. I think that Linda Carter is a beautiful woman and a fantastic everything, really. And then when I look at Gal Gadot, I think that's a beautiful woman and that I would not be upset if, whatever, if life had been different, right?
So, for her or for you?
It'd have to be for both of us, Roger.
Well, I think the difference would be stark depending on which way it goes,
You might be right. But in any case, I just think that they're both beautiful women and they both play the role well and differently. And I really like that they didn't just get some busty chick to try and pretend to be Linda Carter, because that would have probably been the worst case scenario, I think.
Right.
So, but I haven't seen the new movie, so I'll rest judgment on the rest of that till later.
I haven't either yet.
Yes, Mark Twain. That's right. Mark Twain said it.
That's right.
That's right.
His passing has been rumors of his passing have been greatly exaggerated. Yes.
Nice. She got Mark Twained. Let's see. Moral of the story ever: if you need to die to go on this primetime show. Oh, look.
Well,
that's not the case, but
No.
but I would have. I'm glad she's still with us, because
Right.
I actually was hoping. I know Jambo has a couple of signatures of hers, and I was like, man, it'd be nice to get something signed by her. So
she's not that old, I don't think.
no, she's only like 65 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shock. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, enough about all that stuff. So the topic for this evening is, Roger.
Oh boy, Capeless or something.
Caper? Is it Capers?
Yes. What's our team name tonight?
Capers.
You guys suck.
Capers.
Capeless capers.
Capers and potatoes.
That's it. Capers and potatoes. Actually, I like that.
Yeah,
Sounds like
close.
something Varangian Vigilante would make for breakfast. Capers and potatoes.
Capeless couches.
Yes, the capeless couch potatoes.
Ah, okay.
Thank you, kind sirs. You're so good. You're so good to me always.
You only put it out a few minutes before the stream. It's hard to. My short-term memory, that takes a little while to get.
Well, I would have put it out there sooner, but I hadn't thought of it yet. So we got hey, Ruben Guzman's in the house, Cowabunga fan. So I present to you, for your viewing pleasure, a bit of a I don't know what you call this. But to me, this is a tale of capes, right? So you got two flying characters. And when I think of capes, I think of flying characters generally. But you shouldn't, but I do. For whatever reason, I do. And yet here, I guess because of Superman mostly. But here's two characters who do not fly, or who fly but do not have capes. So you got Green Lantern, who could easily make a cape for himself at any time, but chooses not to because he's probably a lazy couch potato. And then you have Star Sapphire. I believe that's how you pronounce it, isn't it, Roger?
Yeah, sounds right.
All right, appreciate that. I think Roger's already in the kitchen making himself a snack. We'll get back with him later. So we got he's eating cheese nips.
No,
don't forget to brush your teeth.
I was getting some comics.
Oh, okay, good. So you got Star Sapphire here, and she's flying without a cape and doing a fantastic job of it. And then you have a character who does not fly and rarely even walks. You have the Ghost Rider, who is draped in cape. I mean, just floor to ceiling ridiculousness. When he rides a horse, it's behind him by 6 feet. I mean, it's just absurd. And you got multiple pictures of his cape here. You got it there. You got it there. Look at it. Look at how it just automatically knows to jump up so that he could strangle this guy. And yet looks all ominous and spooky in the background. Just great stuff. And he doesn't fly at all. So anyway, are capes for flight? Are capes not for flight? What do you think about capes? For this, we're going to the man who has every book ever made, and he bought them off the rack except for the ones that were given to him, or he, shystered little kids out of DS Comics. I got you that time, Roger.
The old secret.
All right, Roger. What do you got there?
Yeah, I will. There was that this came up in comics before. There's a Captain America issue in the 170s, 180s. Captain America doesn't normally wear a cape, but there was a period of time where he took on the identity of Nomad, and he had this long cape, and he kept tripping over it. So he ripped it off, and he said, "Why would anybody wear this stupid thing?" Paraphrasing there. So that was back in the mid 70s. So I always wondered, hey, why do superheroes wear capes? ostensibly, that they have, if they're functional, like Moon Knight here, I believe he can glide with his. So he has a certain function with them. But why Superman has a cape, I'm not sure, except that, he can sometimes wrap people up in it, things like that. But there's a myriad of reasons why superheroes do or don't have capes. But I think originally it was just to make the costume stand out, so that because most people don't wear capes, it was sort of a superhero trope saying, well, if he has a cape, he's a superhero or super powered somehow. So I think that's why that whole thing started, Batman, Superman wearing capes, so that they would be identified as a super character or a character that was either super powered or a superhero or hero of some sort.
It seems incredibly vain because, like you said, a lot of it is non-functional. I can't think of too many capes that really are functional. Now, every now and then, Batman will hide like a hang glider in his too, but most of the time, the capes are fairly cosmetic, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, DS?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a cape. This is, to me, epitomizes what's the true purpose of a cape. It is a gentleman's garb to be worn at night. It keeps you warm. It's a distinguished type of style and fashion for the gentleman. Really, I don't know why flying superheroes need capes. I think Superman had a cape, and then Batman had a cape, and then it's like capes are on superheroes. It never made sense to me. This makes more sense as a cape. You know what I mean? That's my idea of a cape, and I feel like most superheroes don't have capes, and the ones that do, I don't understand why they have it. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, most of them fly with capes, but the cape is not integral to the flying. So, I mean, Batman uses his to glide, as you said. But most of the flying superheroes that have capes, they could fly without the capes. I don't feel like the cape does anything. I feel like this is a more proper use of the cape, honestly, like an old school gentleman's nighttime fashion, like Dracula has. That's a cape to me. I never understood it. And then this book, which, full disclaimer, is not mine. I feel like DC has more capes than Marvel. I mean, you've got Batman, Superman, and there's a whole slew of DC characters. I could be wrong. I haven't done a head count on cape heroes, but
I think the part you're wrong on is DC having a slew of characters, but go on.
Yeah. Well, I remember the X-Men was one of my favorite teams growing up, and so I just have, this is not mine, but I have it to work on. But hardly any of the X-Men have capes. The only one on here in this group is Storm, and it's one of the most popular superhero teams of all time. Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Hulk. I mean, none of them have capes. Even Doctor Strange doesn't technically have a cape. It's cape-ish. Yeah, I don't need capes on superheroes. I don't feel it's necessary, and most of the time it's on a flying superhero, and it doesn't aid in the flight. So I feel like it would get in the way. Anyway, I never was a big fan of capes, except when it's used like this. I really dig the cape on Dracula. That's way cooler.
Yeah,
and that's very classic to his look too. To have that cape.
Doctor Strange technically is a cloak of levitation, so it does have a function.
Yeah, exactly. But
is there a difference between a cloak and a cape? Or are they the same?
I think the only difference I can think of is that the cape goes only halfway around the neck, and I think the cloak goes all the way. Okay. Maybe somebody can correct me on that one, but that's the only difference that I remember reading about way back when.
They're not happy with your assessment of a gentleman's evening garb there, DS.
They don't like it.
The chat in general has agreed that it is not, or at least it is no longer proper gentleman garb.
Well, but in the world of fashion, things have a tendency to come back around, and I would not be surprised within our lifetimes to see capes come back in fashion.
Yeah, who would have thought people would be waxing their beards again? That took me by surprise.
There's people out here with piercings in every part of their body with blue hair. I mean, a cape would be the least crazy thing out here on the streets today. So I say bring them back. It'd keep you warm at night. It's cool. I'm down with the cape.
Kachoon's misbehaving. Where's Bill? He's usually our hall monitor. he's caught up on Black Panther having a cape for a minute. Well, what about who was it? Spider-Man. Didn't Spider-Man have like webbing like under his arms? Is that kind of like a cape? I don't know. I think it served the same aesthetics as a cape. You know, when you're drawing these characters and you're trying to make them look dynamic in motion in a still panel, then maybe they just had capes to signify direction of movement, flight, and and to make the panel more dynamic. And then also because capes are large, they can fill parts of the panel, not have to draw as much background. Just thinking from an artistic point of view, there may have been some cheating methods behind needing a cape.
Yep. Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. And I think that's true. And it also gives the character just a more distinctive look, because like Dracula, like DS was showing, once he has that kind of line cape, like whether it's in some of the movies you see it like more almost like satiny, it gives it a sort of a sense of regalness, of authority, of importance. So there's that tie-in too. And also, but I also agree with you that when you're drawing a cape on a comic book panel, it's sort of, you don't have to draw a more distinctive background because half of Superman's cape is covering the landscape.
Yeah, that's true. And it's probably easier to draw, but I mean, some of these artists, especially back in the day, early Golden Age, I feel like they didn't need to take shortcuts to fill panels, but it probably definitely helped in some. But Superman and Batman, neither one. I mean, Batman doesn't fly anyway.
But he glides with his little grappling whatnot.
He does, but Superman didn't fly. He was never initially intended to have the power of flight, and he had a cape right from the
He was a big hopper, though. He was a real big hopper.
Yeah, I don't know. There's other Golden Age heroes with capes that don't fly. Black Terror, I think, has a cape. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's ever really been. I don't think it started as being able to visualize the flight of the characters in the art, because a lot of the characters, even in the Golden Age, had capes and didn't fly, and you didn't need that. And I feel like artists are pretty good at drawing motion without having a cape to show where someone's going. So I'm not sure how it came about. It looks cool on Superman, and such a monumental character in the history of comics that I think that influenced the use of cape, and it almost became a semi sort of accepted default for flying superheroes after a while that have a cape.
All right, I'm going to show this book, and I want you to tell me what you think, guys, because this is one of those that's confusing to me because it kind of goes against everything I said, and it helps DS's point, so I don't know why I would show it.
Oh, yeah, I'm down with that.
You're down with it now, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
So here's Superman number 57, right? Excuse the low grade. It has the measles. But here's Superman 57. So notice that, as DS mentioned, they have other ways to signify motion. They draw streaks. They take every outer line and gap. That way you can see that there's motion involved, right? Lois is clearly picking up Superman, right? Like lifting him up. I mean, look at the cradle-y position that he's in. But then notice their cape placement. Completely devoid of any motion upward, They're like sideways, almost like they're falling down or sideways. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of the cape, honestly? I mean, it's not even blowing in the right direction, really.
Right. It's like they drew that first, and then they added the streaks after because they were like, make it more dynamic. And then now what, right?
A cape is cool when you have an artist like, I don't know, like Todd McFarlane with when he draws capes. He did some Batman stuff. It really lends itself to some really impactful and iconic pieces of art to have a big flowing cape, especially if an artist does it well. Now, early Superman art, it's not highly developed art in my opinion. It wasn't meant to be highly developed art as opposed to modern art, but the cape can really be an iconic image, and it's tough to draw clothing and fabric, and it's really a testament to an artist to make those type of things come alive. So it has an artistic benefit. I like to see it done well, like Batman 423, McFarlane's cape on that one, that Batman cover.
Yeah,
that's one of the greatest covers, modern covers ever, and it's because of how he drew the cape. But yeah, as far as the utility of capes, I never understood the utility of them, and I don't know why it's associated with flight. Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's got to be one of the best capes ever drawn.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So yeah, without the cape there, that makes it such an iconic image, and it's highly developed drawing style on a cape. So that's awesome. Batman has a cape because he sort of looks like a bat. So it actually makes sense on Batman where it doesn't make sense on Superman.
Oh, that's true. It's part of his overall bat persona. I hadn't thought about
that. The bat wings, he stretches them out and that's the wings and it's the image of a bat. So it makes sense on Batman to have a cape, but Superman, I don't really get it.
Well, yeah. he does use it like for protecting other people when he flies fast, or it is bulletproof. I think Dave Enrique was asking, has anybody had a bulletproof cape? Well,
yeah,
Superman does. I think one of the Invaders teams had it as well. One of the guys had I think it was Spirit of 76 had a bulletproof cape. So there has been utility behind cape. Obviously, Cloak from Cloak and Dagger, that's the entryway into that dark dimension that he has control over. So there is utility there, and Spawn as well has uses for his cape. So it depends.
Yeah, and I guess Dracula will use his cape in it as it relates to bats as well, because he's a vampire. He controls creatures of the night, and he can transform.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes sense on Dracula too.
Listen, there could be more
with Storm too, because she's the weather controlling with Storm. It sort of makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense to me that she's controlling the weather. She's got this cape, but Superman, he doesn't need a cape for anything. I don't know why he has it.
Well, Phantom Lady in this one, she is wearing a cape exactly the way you should be wearing a cape.
Yeah.
It's over her shoulders. It's protecting her from the weather of the sea, right? The splash and spray as she drives a boat. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing with a cape, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good function for it, certainly.
And she's a lady, so she wears a lady cape to protect her cold shoulders because she forgot to have the tailor finish her outfit. You understand? Yeah. Roger's had that problem before, right, Roger?
No.
Oh.
No.
What do you got there?
I was just going to say that again for functionality for capes, right? This is a character, Demon Hunter, who he had another dimension that he could access through the innards layers of his cape, so he could pull out weapons and so etc. and teleport himself through a cape. So it could be, I don't what came first, the cape or the ideas, right? But,
maybe both.
Maybe
they're like, look, he looks so cool with a cape, but listen, capes are silly. We got to have a reason that he needs this cape, right?
That's right. So if you want this is my idea, right? If you want to have a character with a cape, give it some rationale, not just looks. That's why Captain America as Nomad threw away the cape, because it just didn't make any sense. It just got in the way.
Did he ever have a cape?
No, just Nomad.
Oh, Nomad, yeah.
There was only a few issues where he became Nomad and he had a cape and he just tripped over. It's a trope, kind of thing that the writer was sort of, trying to say, listen, I don't like capes. And that's why, like Vision has a cape, right? Vision has a little. Why does Vision have a cape?
I don't know. It's very dainty too.
Yeah, it's like a half cape, right? Or not?
Well, yeah, I think he'd be better off without a cape. I don't know. It sort of is less serious sometimes when a character with such power has a cape. It's sort of like, in my mind or my eyes, it minimizes a little bit, as opposed to like Brother Voodoo, no cape. He's just badass. You know what I mean? If you put a cape on him, it just sort of makes it a little goofier or something on some of these characters. I think Vision would be much more imposing and threatening without the cape. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it doesn't really serve any purpose for him. He doesn't. He's intangible. He can't wrap somebody in it. So it's like, why, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. What else you got there, Roger? You had a couple books you were sliding through.
Yeah, I got a few others here. I got the Grim Ghost. Again, he was a highwayman from the past. So again, just like Dracula, this was more of a fashion statement kind of thing, not really a functional thing. But again, he looks cool with it. You know, what the whole outfit. You know, the kind of 18th century outfit with the ruffles and the long sleeves and the hood and the cape. It kind of works, you know, but it's not functional per se. But it makes him perhaps look a little bit more ominous, I guess. Is the only thing I can think of for the look of the cape. But this is kind of one of those topics where we could go almost anywhere with, because the fact that it's so inherent in superheroes or in comics, right? But not in society. You could go years without seeing somebody without a cape. It's just that kind of little distinctive touch that, like, long underwear is kind of also associated with superheroes.
How long does your underwear need to be?
I don't know. As long as it needs. I don't wear it, but I'm just saying. I mean, people do when it's cold. I live in Florida, so I don't really need it much now.
That's right.
Yeah, I feel like that comment at House Till the End said. For me, a cape, it's sort of it's almost like a class symbol sort of thing, or like master of his domain. But if you're trying to be just a badass, I think the cape is not a good idea. But if you are like, one of these highly intelligent heroes, or like master of the domain, or super sophisticated, then the cape sort of adds something to it, like a Dracula or a Lando. But you have somebody who's just out there kicking ass, like, I don't know, Wolverine.
Punisher. Think of how terrible Punisher would look in a cape.
Yeah, Spider-Man even though he's a kid. But, I feel like there needs to be, I could see like Lex Luthor could wear a cape and I'd be cool with it. You know what I mean? That would fit him. But Superman, I don't feel like he needs a cape because he's just badass. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the other issue too is, well, all right. So I'll tell a story on myself. So when I was a kid, Roger will probably remember these toys. I don't know if DS is old enough to remember these toys. But remember the DC action figures?
Yes.
Like you had Batman, he had the blue cape, and Robin had, I think, a green or yellow cape.
Yeah,
he had a yellow cape.
The Migos, yeah.
No, the little action figures, like you squeeze Robin's legs together and he had the karate chop.
Oh, those. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up with those toys. Those were my. I had those toys as a kid, cool. And they had removable capes. They were cloth, kind of silky cloth, and they clipped onto the back of the neck. Well, you could take those capes off and put them on any figure that had a neck that size. And at the time, the Secret Wars figures were out as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would take those capes and I would clip them onto all my Secret Wars figures when I played with them too. So I was I loved capes when I was a kid. I put them on all my action figures got capes. Probably the only time Wolverine's ever worn a cape was in my bedroom. That sounds odd, but oh man. You remember those toys, Roger? DS, you're not old enough. I'm sorry.
I do. I never had them myself. I was a little too old to play with them at that point, but yeah, I do remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't remember those toys anyway.
You don't?
No, I don't remember them, no.
Man, I had a few of them. I had the Flash, I had Superman, and Superman had a cape too, so
I didn't collect any superhero or comic related toys. It's weird now that I think back. The only toy like comic stuff for me was comics and some of the TV, the cartoons and stuff like that. And then the toys was always like G.I. Joe and robots and monster figures and stuff like that. But the comics, it never even occurred to me to go after comic related toys. I never owned any at all, ever.
Well, those came with mini comics, and I like those. I always liked them as a kid.
Yeah, I never had any comic book related toys. I guess all my toys that I wanted when I was a kid were other stuff, military, sci-fi, robot type things. I never went for the comic book stuff.
Yeah. Hey, look at Knights of Old saying Secret Warriors toys are pretty cool. I have almost a complete collection of them.
Really?
Still working on them. I'm missing, I think, 3 of them.
Now, the only thing with those toys is sometimes the accessories were a little bit weird.
Like for instance, here's my silver edition Wolverine. Let's see if I can. I know this is really important to you guys. So here's my silver edition Wolverine. I say silver edition because there were ones that had claws that were black instead of gray. So, and then look how they clip on. Isn't that funny? So if you're a fan of the comics, this is just bizarre, right? It clips on around the wrist, completely looks totally like not part of him,
Yeah.
Super long claws. And then, of course, they came with these like lenticular shields, and you had discs you could put in them. And then they usually came with a gun, like a ray gun that you could hold there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would have like a clip that didn't clip to anything. For most of the characters, a few of the characters had spots for them, like Iron Man, which made no sense. But anyway, yeah, there you go. I used to play. That was a big fun for me to play with those. But I also liked my cape toys too. This was a little older when I got this one. But like here is the Shadow. And he's got a beautiful cape. The red on the inside, and it's got that kind of silky lining.
Yeah.
And just really cool cape. And of course, I always went for the figures that you had to squeeze their legs together. That was always the most fun, right? So he had the double action.
Yeah, I think maybe capes are better for nighttime creeping around too.
Yeah, I mean, look how much that obscures him. You can just hide. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think the worst, as we talk about this and get into it, I love we're having awesome comments tonight by everybody.
Yeah.
You guys really are starting to think Superman has the worst cape in comics. He doesn't need it. It doesn't do anything. He's not a nighttime guy. He's not dark or sketchy. I'm starting to think he's got the worst cape in comics now. Somebody mentioned Phantom Stranger. Yeah, that's when like somebody at night creeping around. Like, yeah
it makes sense.
The fedora and the cape. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, and the Shadow, same deal.
Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, also he had a nice design because he had the little rope around the neck and the kind of molding around the cape. But it was a what do you call those short capes? I forget, there's a name for them, but I forgot what it's called.
I think they're called half tutus. One? Maybe they're one-ones.
Maybe one was, but I never got why he needed that little bitty thing. I never remember him using it in any way, shape, or form.
And I knew I would trigger somebody with that whole comment about Superman's cape, and Knights is the winner of the trigger contest.
He stays triggered on that.
Yeah.
He loves Superman's cape. He thinks it's amazing.
It's classic because Superman's so iconic, but really, I mean, I don't know, man. I think probably there's some people that are in this chat or watching this that are starting to question Superman's cape.
I don't know. The Shadow didn't need. Not just the Shadow. The Phantom. He didn't need a cape, and he pretty much has. He was the inventor of the whole, kind of half mask, covered all, and the underwear on the outside. He was one of the first ones to have all that.
I got a Phantom in here somewhere. Hold on, here.
Boom! Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's a great book, Roger.
Thank you.
Phantom, does Phantom have a cape?
No.
He's got these little eye coverings, which I always thought was like, man, that's like, talk about a really, really thin disguise. He's got these little black. It's almost like like when football players put the black around their eyes. That's what his mask is.
Yeah, not like Superman. Superman's got a much better disguise, doesn't he, Roger?
He's got nothing.
The Phantom is not super popular, but he has a cult following, a very strong following, and very popular, I think, like in Australia.
Really?
Yep.
I think so. I think Australia is pretty big on the Phantom, whereas here we're not. I think Australians like the Phantom.
They do have a dedicated comic, at least in the 70s and 80s in Australia. Yeah. Phantom. So
I mean, Phantom's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's been around since the pulps. So
Zorro, there's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
But see, again, that's sort of like the gentleman
Yep.
club of wearing capes. You know, Zorro is sort of in that gentleman's club. That I think that's why the cape works.
Yeah. I was gonna pull a book and now I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, so I'm gonna revise. So here's where I'm at for capes.
Uh-oh.
Either it's you're a gentleman of high society in some sense, and that's why you wear a cape, or you are, in the dark, either literally or figuratively, and then it makes more sense. So those are the two categories I'm granting leave to wear capes at this point.
That's not very many categories, DS.
Yeah. Unless they have a function outside of that, because
Right.
there are right. But
Yeah.
if you're just talking about everything being equal, yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, like this one I had up for a minute, but I took it down to put the Phantom Stranger up. He's got a cape. He doesn't fly. He doesn't even have any powers. His suit, I think, is bulletproof, but the cape doesn't do anything. But he has a cape. I don't know why Black Terror has a cape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty elaborate. He's got a pretty elaborate, whatever you collar for it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, with the Roman buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Or capes.
Yeah, and Kid Terror has the same exact clothing going on. He's got a little cape, so
He just got the ones that shrunk in the wash.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one there, because that's one of those where it doesn't really have any kind of rationale behind it, right? It's just it's not bulletproof. He doesn't hide his regular clothes in there or anything.
Right.
I mean, it's just a totally kind of a design choice, really.
Yeah, and really what he's doing most of the time is, 99% of what he does is fight crime or the Nazis, essentially, too. And neither of those is a cape useful or helpful.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be in the way most of the time anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, we could probably make a list of characters that have capes that really, it's all just a design choice. It has no really functionality at all. Or even if like I wouldn't include, like you said, I would include the Shadow, Phantom Stranger as even though they may not use it per se, but it does have a sort of aura and mystique that adds to that character. But otherwise, if it's just a purely cosmetic choice that doesn't really expand that character, then I do without it.
Yeah, in Area 51, a couple of people have mentioned this about, Dr. Doom. Yeah, so that would fit in my dark category. Doom is definitely dark. He's a dark.
Well, yeah, and wasn't he the ruler too, so it fits in your category of materials.
Yeah, it was a legal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I got like Magneto when he had a little cape here.
Oh, that's golden. Yeah. I remember Magneto having a cape too. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's about 50-50 though, right? About 50% of the time he had a cape, 50% of the time he doesn't. He doesn't always have a cape.
No, he had it originally back in the 60s and 70s, and I think he did away with it. I'm trying to remember, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I got two more categories that are allowed to wear capes in DS World.
Wait, this is getting to be bigger than the category of people who aren't allowed.
Okay, ready?
Be careful.
Number one is females, because it always looks more glamorous no matter what kind of female character it is. I think females can pull off a cape better than the male counterparts. So females get a pass on capes always. And then pets. Also pets. Supergirl's cat, Super Dog, Mighty Mouse. They can wear capes. Capes are super cool on animals.
Wow.
Nice.
So there you go.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the pets. I don't know about the ladies though. That some.
Yeah, Roger, check this out. What are you thinking about?
I think we can't be sexist that way. You know,
you got every other in a cape here. You can't tell me those capes don't look bad. And you got Wonder Woman in a rare appearance in a cape. She doesn't always wear one either.
True,
but she does have one. You just don't see it all the time.
Yeah, and so Jay had saying Magneto almost always has a cape. Am I mistaken on that? I feel like Magneto sometimes has it and sometimes doesn't. Does he always have a cape?
I think he usually
did for a while, but maybe I'm wrong too. I don't follow
in the modern comics. He has him again, so you could.
I might be wrong on that. I guess
could be getting drowned out by the modern version because he definitely has a cape in the modern comics.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where I was getting that. Maybe I'm just confused.
This is what I got to show every time he mentions a girl in a cape.
Yeah, that's epic right there. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that was Superman, that would look terrible.
But isn't this another version of the reverse physics here? Clearly,
well, I don't know.
She's writing that out, isn't she? Or is she writing that in? What do you think?
I think she's writing it down.
She's writing it down?
Her hair's blowing up, too.
Oh, yeah. So she's writing it down.
I think the bottom of it is the friction as it passes through the air starting to burn the underside of it.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it's like going in, burning up in the atmosphere or something. Yeah.
Let's face it. I just want to show this book for an actual.
Of course, everybody's probably focused on the bare midriff part anyway. But
the bare, what is that?
The middle section, the abdomen, the lower torso.
One of the rare, properly proportioned modern female covers that I like right there.
Your comments always have so many qualifications that I'm not sure if I should agree without checking with my lawyer. What about small little guys? Will you give them capes so that we know where they're at?
I mean, I would probably put him into the pet category.
You hear this disrespect for Doll Man?
Roger.
Doll Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doll Man's pretty powerful though, but I don't know. He's cool. Doll Man has some cool comics. They're kind of in the Plastic Man, goofy category, but also cool at the same time. Very, very unique sort of stories and character arcs and stuff. So yeah. I mean, it fits on him because he's semi-silly and semi-different and cool. So yeah, he can have a cape.
Ooh.
Yeah. What about your favorite Thor? Oh, well, he's
Thor.
a prince.
Yeah.
He's a prince.
Well, yeah, Thor is a god also.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe gods can wear capes too.
Yeah, but
this list is getting long.
That's part of the royalty and regal nature of it. I mean, I think that's okay.
Dr. Doom, that royal, sophisticated, high society category.
Yeah, Dr. Doom would fit in that category as well. He's essentially the king of Latveria. So,
right. Look at Man Cave Comics showed up. You know why he's here? He could smell Golden Age books a mile away.
Yeah. No, not a mile away. A continent away. He could
smell Golden Age books. His little nose perks up, his eyebrows curl, and he can't figure out why until he hunts down the Golden Age books on parade. That's what happens.
Oh yeah,
we're pretty sure about that.
Let's see if I got a Golden Age comic I can put up here.
I'm sure. Try hard to find one.
Oh yeah, I can put this one. It's not cape related, but yeah. So this is the only restored comic in my collection, so that's cool. Yay! There you go.
Are you gonna get me in trouble? You know I get private messages when we show things off topic.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea our watchers were so particular, but they are.
They are.
Yeah, Doom might have the best cape because he is dark and regal, so he fits two categories for his cape. Sort of like Darth Vader too, I guess. He's regal and dark. So I guess he can have a cape. Although I always sort of wished Vader didn't have a cape.
Look, here comes our local Kryptonian apologist. Clark, because they're on first name basis, you understand, is a Superman, last son of Krypton. Sounds regal to him. I don't know. Being the last of something doesn't really make you regal, does it?
Yeah, he's also not of royal blood. I mean, his dad was like a member of the scientific council or something.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
when I eat the last Twinkie out of the box, it doesn't make the Twinkie any more special. It's just the last one. You know. Then it doesn't make the one before it regal.
If his alter ego was like a Bruce Wayne alter ego, I might give him a pass on the cape. But he's some, goofy, awkward reporter with glasses. He went the other direction, so he's not endearing me to the cape idea.
What's up, Jeff Schultz? And Area 51 says Bobby Fett. We're gonna just skip over that.
Bobby Fett. that's Boba Fett's brother, maybe Bobby. I don't know.
Yeah, Dynamo and no cape. Norman had a cape. Very good. I agree with that. I need to beef up my Dynamo collection. I've got so much Wally Wood, and everyone always asks me, "Oh, do you have the whole run of Dynamo?" Because there's not very many of them. Or the Dynamo comics. I was like, I don't. I have like one. And it's because it has a damsel in distress on the railroad tracks. And I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, even the Thunder Agents too, so you could pick those up as well.
Right. And I've got the Ink books, the Heroes Ink. And they have
the Wally Wood, yeah. The Cannon and whatever that character was.
Cannon. Then of course Sally Forth doesn't wear any capes.
No.
Ever. She doesn't even wear shoes. So hey, Metarog's in the house.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Kachung's comment reminded me of Spectre, because I really want a Golden Age Spectre cover in my collection. And Spectre's super cool with the cape. But his isn't like it's got a hood too. So I don't know if that counts as a cape or a cloak or something.
I think that's a hood, like Little Red Riding Hood. Right?
That's a hood.
I think a cloak can have a hood as well. So
yeah, but it's got partly a cape, and then Dr. Fate has a cape. But the DC, there's capes all over DC.
Now does a cape is not a hood unless it has a cowl, right? So you have cape and cowl, or you have a cloak and hood, or a hooded cloak.
No. Well, a cape, a cowl, and a cape, I believe, are separate, right? I mean, they're not connected. I think if it's connected, then it's a cloak and the hood.
Oh, okay.
Maybe somebody could correct me on that. I'm not exactly, fashionista. So,
where's Gray Man?
Yeah.
Where's Gray Man? He hangs out outside of Victoria's Secret at the mall every Thursday just to stay sharp on his fashions.
Yeah.
Well, he's from England. They're far more sophisticated than us over here.
Yeah.
And he put that early on in this chat. He gave really good definitions of capes. Best I've seen yet was from Gray Man. So he knows his stuff. I will give another category is magic, collecting chaos. Magic users should get a pass. Yeah, I'm down with that. Magicians.
Oh yeah,
wizards.
yeah. I have to agree with that one.
Yeah, magicians and wizards can have capes for sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I have to agree.
Again, Superman does not fit into that one either. So.
And that kind of fits in the whole magic. Like when the old time magicians, they have a top hat and the black line coat, because they would have hidden items in that cloak, so it had function too, because there was a rationale behind it beyond just they could also put it across them and sort of hide them when they disappeared, things like that. So there was function there.
There's a great no cape example he's talking about. Look at that. Now that outfit looks like it needs a cape.
That's a nice train cover.
Yeah, it
really has a nice Golden Age feel to it, which I'm sure is the intention. But yeah, well done.
Well, it's Wally Wood, so Wally Wood helped create Golden Age.
Okay. Yeah, it's real nice. I like that.
And then here's that Edrigal. How do you say that, Roger?
Etrigan?
Yeah, he doesn't know either. What about you, DS?
What are you talking about?
How do you say the name of this character?
Oh, I don't know his name at all. I don't know.
Edinburgh the Demon.
The only thing I know about that book is it has a really awesome double-page spread in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think it's the centerfold, but it's really, really cool. Like, double-page spreads are a rare treat when you come across one you weren't expecting. And that book has a really good one, I think.
It was really cool. I like my copy of, oh gosh, it's a Nick Fury book, but it's got a quadruple page spread, and it was the first in comics.
Quadruple page?
Yep, 4-page spread. And it's really jacked up. I'm so mad at myself because, you have these questions you want to ask. Here it is. It's not the splash page, but it's the next page.
Yeah, it's interior, but yeah, really cool. A lot of Kirby dots, a lot of action. It's just an epic scene by Kirby it's just, yeah, that book's worth owning in low grade just for that, honestly.
What are you trying to say?
No, I think it's a good book anyway. I keep looking for a high grade copy of it, which is tough because it's like one of those 20 centers. Tough book to find a high grade, but I really like that double page spread. It's such a nice piece of art.
I got both my cycles in there. I got to have that.
And the Silver Age Thor has some awesome double page Kirby stuff too. Not a ton of them, but those are epic. I think that's Kirby's best work is Silver Age Thor. But that demon one, that's no slouch. That's a really good spread.
So then we're liking Kirby capes. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Thor, since he got to draw the Asgardians, and so many of them had capes. Almost all of them, actually.
Yeah, I got a good Thor.
He just went to town on those capes, so I agree. Those were magnificent comics, artistically especially.
Demon. Thank you so much, J Hood. So good to me for helping me out. Man, I don't know if Man Cave's still here or he's still reeling from his recent cover slingers loss to old Bubsy over here.
He's there.
It was rough on him. I always find it first of all, a couple of things. I've competed against Man Cave a lot in other things, right? Mm-hmm. And I've competed against him in The Hunt, Tony Sanders' channel, and then also on Boy Who Had Sevens, Comigories. And I tell you, this guy hates losing. Like the disdain on his face when he loses even the smallest, not the whole thing, but just every little piece of loss. You can read it all over his face. He absolutely hates losing. And I know that this past weekend must have stung a little extra because he lost on the topic that he got to choose. So that's always got to be worse, right?
Whoa.
I hope not to befall the same fate as he next week on Gray Man's channel for Cover Slingers. Be there, vote Bubs, or find something better to do. Hey, what's
the topic next week?
Yeah, the topic's going to be reptiles.
Reptiles. Oh,
reptiles. Are you coming out of retirement?
I don't know. Maybe.
He don't mind losing. Look, that's his partner on The Hunt. He doesn't lose very often. Maybe that's why you haven't noticed Biggie Shack.
He doesn't mind losing because he doesn't do it often. Yeah.
Losing is the worst. Yeah. Losing and bum fecal matter are the two worst things on earth.
Well, what do you what do you hate more? Do you hate losing more than you even like winning?
I hate losing personally.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I like to win on my own. I like to win as a team. And I don't mind losing on my own. I hate losing as a team.
Okay.
That's where I lose it, or that's where I really hate it. When I lose as a team, I can win it as a team. I can win on my own. I can lose on my own because that's all on me, and I'll just deal with it. But when we lose as a team, I either feel like I let them down, or I can easily cite that one jerk who let everybody down. and that sticks in my craw too. What are you gonna do? Yeah, losing is the worst. Thanks, guys. All right, what do you think, DS? Do you not mind losing too much?
I hate losing, and I think I hate losing even more than I like winning. Yes, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I hate losing. Yeah, and I can't. When I compete at anything, I'm trying to win. So even if it's something friendly, if there's a competitive aspect added into it, now I'm trying to win at the expense of all else because I'd rather lose whatever else than lose the competition. So yes, I hate losing.
You hate it so much you buy books to commemorate them?
Yes. You know what? I hate losing so much. Let's talk about comics since that's why we're here. I went on a string where I lost so much in recent auctions that I will spite buy multi-$1,000 books just so I can get something since I've been losing an auction so long. Yeah.
Wow. But you're spiting yourself, right?
Yes, but I don't care because I need to get something because it gets rid of the losing if I can at least get something.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I bought that Beware 10, that Frazetta book, after I went like 0-27 on Heritage, Comic Connect, and Comic Link. All came up around the same time a month ago or so. And I was just so pissed that I lost on everything that I just bought that Beware 10.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which if I had won something else or I had been winning a little bit here and there, I would never have bought that Beware 10. Now it's a book I want. I'm glad to have it, but I had to get something to sort of fill that void of the losing.
Yeah, and I hear look, Kent's rainbow covers. Yeah,
yeah
Biggie knows what's going on. Yeah, I had I was trying to decide on whether I was going to buy a Golden Age book or a new amp for a guitar, and I couldn't decide, and so I decided to make my high bid on the Golden Age book, which I was bidding on. Of course, the guitar amp was just buy it now, right? It's a new piece of equipment, so I decided to make my high bid on the Golden Age book equal to the price with tax and shipping of the amp. And that way, if I lost the Golden Age book, I would be winning the amp. And if I won the Golden Age book, then it was no loss that I couldn't get the amp. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yes, that makes sense.
So that's what I did. I lost the Golden Age book as it turned out, but I did get the amp. So it all worked out. Look at that. Oh yeah, so there you go. That is nice. Holy cow. World War II through 120. So that's 121 books, right?
Yep.
Yep, 121 books. That's hard, fast math, folks. 33 cents. Now I'm thinking Warlord. Roger, what would have been the price on a Warlord comic when it came out?
When it came out, it would be in the late 70s, probably about 40 cents or so.
So he got them less than cover price for Bronze Age. That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
that's solid. That's solid. By which amp was it? It was a Laney. It was a Laney Tweed. Let's see. Agree, especially for the That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, that's really underrated stuff too. It's not. I don't know. I want to say it's not It's very collectible, but I feel like it's overlooked with all the other stuff in the market going on. But I recently picked up a small collection and it had a stack of Warlord stuff in it. And man, the stories and art in that stuff are phenomenal. It's second to none. It's really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that nobody is really paying attention to it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I think the reason is that it doesn't really tie into the regular Marvel DC universe as much.
Yeah.
And it's sort of its own little niche there. But man, you got Mike Grell and you got Dan Jurgens, great covers, really tight storytelling. Bub, you'll like it. A lot of scantily clad people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all like old lady Grell looking. You know, Grell likes to draw his ladies nice, but the old men, like the men, are all like they look like they've been drug out of the woods or something. They're all stringy and tendony. Like I don't know how else to put it.
I don't know. Reading through the Warlord books that I have from that collection, just randomly picking one up and going through it, I get this sense of the movie Krull. Yeah. It's like I feel like I'm watching Krull. I get the same feeling after I watch Krull as I read those Warlord books. They're very similar to me.
You know, Krull had a comic book.
Yeah, I know. I used to have it.
I think you're the one who made me get rid of it a couple of streams ago. In fact, no.
I don't think so. No, because I would have told you keep the For Your Eyes Only and keep the Crawl. I would have been the same deal on those.
I did keep the For Your Eyes Only though. I got that one.
Oh yeah, that's the best Bond movie there is.
I got to do another trim in the collection because I'm still, although I'm getting to like the W's, so that's going to be an easy pass through. I think I'm at T right now, but I say I got about 2 episodes left of that, and then I'll be done. And then the AOK start going out, so people should be looking forward to that.
Oh, you're keeping all the Wolverines, eh?
Most of them. I actually let go of a big run of some of them, but not the volumized stuff.
Not the volumized. Okay.
Yeah.
Roger, I try to get him to cut that collection down. I'll tell you, it's tough. I'm exhausted after I'm on that show with him.
I saw a little bit of the last show. Yeah, I see you guys were trying really hard. And it was a lot of
effort into helping him cut down, and I wasn't getting much traction. And after that stream, I just fell right asleep. I was so exhausted. When you're spinning your wheels for an hour and a half and making no progress, it's hard work, Roger. I'll tell you.
Yeah. I could tell you were trying hard, man. I mean,
whatever.
But
100 books. Roger, when was the last time you let go of 100 books? 100.
100? I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe.
Look at that. And you're still recovering.
No. These were. I didn't mind those because they were a lot of '90s stuff that I really was not invested in.
Yes, but Bub, this is not a fair comparison because for one thing, Roger is not trying to save up to spend a lot of money on a single book because he has most everything. He likes to find deals. He's not putting out major money on books. No. And he's not trying to trim the collection down. He doesn't go on a channel and do a show and say, help me trim my collection. And then it's a farce because he is not trimming anything. Totally.
What are you talking
Wow.
What are you talking about?
Man, you can cut the tension with a knife right here.
No, he's got rid of some books. You've probably gotten rid of 200 to 300 books so far in doing that. So I applaud you for that. There's a lot more work to do.
I've trimmed down like 400 or 500 books since I started that series.
Yeah, I know. Just the 2 I was on is like 200 books. So
yeah, that's not bad. I don't think it's too bad. But I have picked up some new books since then. But they're all keepers. The new books I got are all staying in the collection. They're PC forever books, as they say.
What I want to see, though, my goal in this as your friend is to see you get rid of a large chunk of books that you can get some money out of that will help towards a very early Planet issue, like a 2.0 range, legit copy of like a single-digit Planet comic. That's what I really want to see. I'm looking forward to that at some point.
Yeah, I need to get a few more. I just picked up another Planet Comics yesterday, so I've not stopped.
Nice.
And the only time I don't pick one up is when I lose the bid,
Yeah.
Look at Metarog showing some heat with the Miss Marvel. Where are we at? Hold on, we got to show this here.
It's not a cloak, but it's more like a scarf, I think.
I think it's a scarf run amok.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But I never understood how this stayed on because it doesn't look like she wraps it around or anything, but somehow it stays on even in battle.
Maybe it's just attached to her somehow.
Oh, maybe. I guess I didn't think of that. Yep.
What number is that?
That is 14 there.
Oh, you're a few away from the Mystique.
Oh, I have the whole run, but I have the whole run. I got these like out of the quarter bins way back when. So
yeah, they're still there.
Oh man.
Yeah. Roger, he doesn't stop. And now, Roger, are you really actively collecting right now? I mean, are you seeking out books?
I would say yes. I do have a want list, like James is collecting chaos is putting here on the chat. I bought the rest of the Atlas comics that I needed from him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I am in the market, but it's very tailored to just the certain gaps that I have in my collection. And of course, promotional things like that I adore. But I don't have like a grandiose end game or anything like that, except for filling in gaps of some character appearances, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I run across a lot of promotional type stuff. You'll have to give me a list of some of the ones you're specifically looking for, because I see them sometimes in auctions or wherever, and I know there's some that you don't have, but I'm never sure which one specifically to look out for. You should just give me a list of a couple or whatever that you're looking for, and I'll keep an eye out, because I obsessively look online for books, especially in auctions, and a lot of these auctions like Comic Connect or Heritage have these small lots, and sometimes they have promotional comic lots in there too, and they don't go for a lot. So,
well, yeah, if you see one, send it my way, and I'll take a look.
Yeah, I see a lot of them all the time. I will do that.
Yeah. One set I'm putting together, and you have a connection to this, is because you sent me that AOK of those all those different General Electric comics. So I'm trying to put together that set because DS, there are so many variants of that. I had no idea. Sometimes up to 4 different variants of any one issue.
Sometimes they would just take like a plane and put it backwards.
Yeah,
and aim it left instead of right.
Sometimes they were done by different, like they were put out by General Electric, but they were distributed by different companies, depending on what region of the country you were in. And they had different printings. So I'm doing a lot of research because nobody knows what a complete set of that looks like. So I'm trying to find out what that is.
That'd be cool. I'm down with it. Let's do it.
Yeah, my favorite ones from those sort of 50s science-related promo stuff is the ones about the jets or the rockets, because it's such a new technology at that time. I really like those. And the ones about like I don't know, like electricity or electrical stuff. That's really cool too.
Jet power. Jet power was new back then in the early 50s.
The only one I have right now is the World of Rubber.
Yeah, that's not General Electric, but there's actually 2 different ones. I have them both.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool too, because rubber
they press out.
Yeah, the rubber used to only come from a rubber tree. Now it's synthetically made. So the story of rubber from back then is totally different than now. The only place to get rubber back then was from rubber trees, mostly from Southeast Asia. So that was a major global political issue during wartime too, back in World War II and prior to that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think like South America and Southeast Asia were our 2 main places where we got rubber from. And
rubber tree plants.
Yeah, then I think Southeast Asia, the Japanese caused us to have a real rubber shortage at one point, because they were basically in control of that area prior to Pearl Harbor. So yeah, I think rubber was a little tight when we got into the war back then.
Well, there's nothing worse than a tight rubber. Well, what do you think, guys? How we've been doing tonight? Yep. I'm sorry. Sorry, Roger. I apologize. It's all falling apart. I don't know what to tell you. It's getting late.
It's getting late. You're right.
What do you think? Have we beat this horse have we beat the Edrigal out of the demon, or the demon out of the Edrigal?
We have.
I think we've done it. I'm gonna throw out my favorite cape based on this discussion and the arguments that were made. I would say first place for cape goes to Dr. Doom. That's my position. I think Dr. Doom won the cape discussion tonight. What do you guys think? Who do you pick?
He had a hood too, though. Maybe he's more like a Red Riding Hood situation.
Yeah, I think it counts for the broader category, though.
Yeah, we can lump them in there. That's okay.
What do you think, Roger? What was your favorite cape of the night? Or one that's not previously been mentioned, even if you had one.
I'm pretty partial to the Moon Knight, like that, because when he glides, it kind of looks like a moon, behind him.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I'm kind of partial to that cape myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I'm too indecisive for this, and I'm generally a decisive person, but this one's tough. I almost want to go with Batman.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Batman.
Yeah.
I have to say, because I liked, and I had not thought of this, but when DS mentioned that it was part of the Bat persona, most of the time, all these things that we've added on, other than the part where they're kind of part of royalty, I think it matches the royalty persona or the leader of a group kind of persona.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's really not too many out there that really have to do with, being a bat. So he's got something that has to simulate kind of leathery bat wings. And I think that works really well for Batman, I have to say.
Agreed.
Yeah, let me show you something here. Let me find it real quick. I mean, you guys can talk while I'm looking, but there's a...
No, we can't.
Who has this? Oh, here it is. So there's a guy. This is I guess a comic book, maybe magazine type thing from the early 1900s, like 1904, and it was a magazine or a pulp or something called Spring-Heeled Jack. And Spring-Heeled Jack, it just reminds me of Batman. So this is just like a cool little aside. But here is Spring-Heeled Jack from 1904. And I just think it's so cool looking. Kind of reminds me of Batman, but not really cape per se, but similar to the Batman thing. But this is 1904.
Kind of reminds me of that scene in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
Checking himself out in the mirror. You remember that?
Yeah. But yeah, there's the Instagrammer if you want to go see. He has a full run of this Spring-Heeled Jack.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. I don't know why I thought that. It kind of reminded me of Batman.
Absolutely. I mean, the idea that you hold the cape up. A lot of the characters who have capes don't manipulate their capes. Superman rarely picks up his own cape and does anything with it. Usually the cape is just tacked on. Even Dr. Doom, you don't see Dr. Doom pick up his cape and move it around and be very theatrical with it. The Shadow does. The Shadow uses his cape as a cover, often. Batman certainly does, but a lot of the characters, the cape is just tacked on there. It's not even something that they use in any way.
Yeah, it looks like a few people in the chat are a little familiar with Spring-Heeled Jack. I had never heard of it prior to that guy talking to me about it. We talked about it. Barangian says he was in a recent comic, so that's I didn't know where that. But yeah, something to look out for in case you ever run across at an antique store. Spring-Heeled Jack, pretty cool.
Yeah, true.
Very nice.
True.
All right, guys. Well,
right,
I would like to continue. If you don't mind, I'd like to keep going maybe for another 20. Oh, never mind. Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
Hi, Liz.
Roger, someone's here to see you.
Hey, Liz. How you doing?
All right. She wants you to park the dog or whatever you guys call it.
Yeah, I got to go park the dog.
You got to park the dog. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, you enjoy yourself. DS, enjoy yourself, or others, whatever you guys got to do. And let's see. Metarog wants to tell. Anyway, Roger, what do you got? Are you have any delves into the Obscura this week?
Not this week, because tomorrow I have to be out most of the day. But there is Graders Notes this Thursday, and there is going to be a roundup this Thursday. And the Graders Notes is on my channel, and we're doing Hero for Hire #1.
Ooh.
So you definitely want to go check that one out.
Is that with the plunging neckline?
Well, and yes, at the end he does get the plunging neckline outfit. Yes,
yeah, he does, doesn't he? That's the first appearance of the naval outfit. Yeah,
guess you could call it that. Yes.
I don't know. What do you call it?
I call it 70s, attire.
All right, that's another kind of attire. We'll read about that in the world of rubber. All right, and DS, what do you got coming up on your Dem Dare channel?
Well, I have this coming this week, so I'm excited to get that. Nice. Sort of anxious awaiting it. It's in transit right now, and so yeah, I'm excited that this is coming. Pretty big book, obviously. Other than that, I got Golden Guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. on the Comic Core. And then I think on Saturday, I'm going to be on Comic Books NYC's channel. We're doing a claim sale, and I've got some cool slabs, including this one that I'll be offering for sale. And it's a cool time to hang out, so come check that out. And I sell everything below GPA, and I've got some decent keys. So, yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully I can pass some cool books on.
Nice. So that sounds good for everybody. That's a win for everyone.
Yes, certainly is.
All right. Congratulations to the entirety of the community. What do I have coming up? I've got books that are in limbo, in shipping limbo. So expect to get a couple of more non-comic haul videos out of me this week. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a shuffling the cards tutorial, or maybe I'll take a page out of our local Renaissance man. Who's your buddy on Graders Notes? Genome presents our local Renaissance man. This guy does it all for the first time, but speaks as an expert on everything for your enjoyment. So good guy.
Yeah.
I love to see him get halfway through a project and tear something out of the wall.
Yep.
So,
but
really, really fun to watch his channel.
Yeah, agreed.
So maybe I'll do something like that this week too. So, but that's what I got coming up. And then I also need to send some books out to get graded so that I can get them to Roger next year for Christmas. That's
Yeah.
So
you can save that step if that's the case.
All right. So, Roger, what do you want to tell the fine folks?
Well, I want to tell everybody to be safe out there, be kind to each other, be blessed, and be back next week.
Thank you. DS, what do you want to tell everybody at home?
Make sure you do your homework.
That's right. And I'm going to tell everybody to read a comic, and remember, don't apologize for the glare. Catch you next week. Bye-bye.